Bill, some questions.
Happy we protected our home court. I think we've done 66% of what we need to do in this homestand, and we have another game to go. So excited about another opportunity to be at home, been on the road so much. So just excited about another opportunity to play here before we actually go on the road and try to do some tough things on the road.
Sam, one of the better three-point shooting teams in the country. I know, obviously, you played Memphis, Liberty, UTEP. You've kind of gotten some experience against some teams that want to put it up. What have you kind of taken from those matchups that you?
To be really honest, for every team that does something good, there's something that we can attack. So we want to make them play defense for long periods of time. I don't think they have as much depth as they had in the past. Last year they had about 6 or 7 guys you could deem as starters on a lot of teams and a lot of leagues. They don't have that depth anymore. But what they do have is a couple guys that are experienced in Boykins and Wilkerson and Hufner. That are really good, and what we want to do is make those guys defend too and take advantage of them on that end of the court, which in turn could take away their advantage in shooting. Late games, you don't have any legs, you've been defending, you're in foul trouble, kind of takes away from who they are.
It's a team effort, I know, but it feels like another stage for Amari, matchup-wise, to be on, potentially Wilkerson and kind of, contain him. What's kind of the message of making sure he?
No, I think Wilkerson's the best shooter in this league, and I don't think it's close. Just another day for him to be great for his team. I think he's been great. And I think, to be honest, I think you're seeing our subs or some of our guys come off the bench and actually lock in when Amari's not in the game and take on those challenges also. But it's going to be huge that we can take away some of their scoring. If Boykins, Hufner, and Wilkerson have a good day, it's going to be a long day for us. So we have to be able to eliminate some of them at some cost, and I'm trying to figure out which ones the matchups we want to exploit.
It may have just been Bacho who was just going off in the second half. Will Allen didn't play Saturday. Was that injury or just because Bacho was just in the group?
Injury. Yeah. It's the story of our life. But he was injured, and so he'll be back in practice today. We're excited about that because, again, anytime we can play with our whole team, we're excited about it. But I thought Sean Elkington came off and gave us really good minutes, and the minutes he played, it's just hard to get him more minutes when Bacho's being Daniel Bacho, and I would think that'd be hard for anybody in the country. When Bacho's rolling, you kind of got to ride that wave and get as much as you can get out of him.
Ben, you got something?
Yeah, Coach. Devin played 35 minutes on Saturday. Obviously, wasn't the scoring output that maybe we saw last week. How have you seen him mature maybe on that defensive end of the floor? Just kind of, I guess, in a way, how he's grown up some last few weeks.
Man, he's had to, with the absence of different people. But no, he stayed out there because of his defense and his length, and he was in the right places at a lot of times. I think one of the best plays of our game was, I think they got a turnover, a missed shot, and Devin goes down and walls up and blocks a shot, which in turn I think we transitioned down and got a chance to score again. And he's just grown a lot in that area. I think physicality for him, he's accepting and embracing it. Which he's going to have to because he's not the biggest body guy we have out there. But then also he understands where he's supposed to be at all times. He knows the plays. He knows his role. He knows what we're looking for. I don't know if you guys recall this, but with about 2 minutes to go, we ran a play that we run, periodically. To get the ball moving side to side, get us a look inside the Bacho, and he was wide open from 3, and most young people would have took that shot. But he understood time to score, he understood the clock, and we had a 2-possession lead, and he passes up a wide open 3 to get the clock moving. And I think Sean got the and one at the end of the possession, which kind of sealed the game. So his growth and knowledge of the game has been exceptional.
Yeah, another big second half against Middle Tennessee. I did the math. You're shooting over 51% from the field in the second half this season. Well, what does that stat tell you?
Daniel Bacho's good in the second half. I think our guys understand, and I think what every coach is fighting nowadays is everybody has an idea. Every young person has an idea of what they want the game to look like when they go out there. They're in warm-ups. They go to bed envisioning it. They think, okay, these are the matchups. I'm going to go show people I'm good. And then after we settle down and do it the team way, then it usually helps us out. And what I mean by that is, after they've tried it their way and they see they have a lack of success, we have a smart team. And then you go out and you say, okay, it's not working my way. Let's do it the way that the scouting report says do it. Let's do it this way. And I think it was an unbelievable like view of that last game. You had Bacho, who was trying to play at the free throw line and out last game. You had guys taking shots that we don't practice. And then in the second half, Bacho played at the rim. We looked like we always look. Sean and Bacho in the pick and roll. AJ getting downhill, looking for Bacho in the pick and roll. We played inside out. We defended at a high rate in the second half. We got easy baskets in transition sometimes. I think AJ Bates gets a steal right when he gets in the game in the second half and turns into points. He backed it out, but it led to points. And so we play like we practice. And when you play like you practice, you give yourself a chance.
Back to Bacho for a second. I think we were kind of laughing Saturday. Just the idea, let's pull him aside at halftime and give him kind of that pep talk. I think it can't be unnoticed that he's leading the country in field goal percentage. He's top 5 in scoring in Conference USA. I feel like a lot of stars in basketball probably wouldn't maybe take that message as closely to heart. It feels like that was kind of.
I ain't really give him a choice.
I guess how rare is that? I guess for a star to take that to heart. I guess.
I guess that is hard. It's a little easier in college than I think it would be in the NBA. I think it'd be hard to go tell the Greek freak, Giannis, you're not doing this right, because he probably won't think I'm doing it my way. But in college, when you have good players that are returners that bought in, usually those are the ones that are the ones listening and taking the information most. And I was happy he received it at that moment. But I try to do a good job, and for guys like Kane who've been in my practices, I tell the truth a lot. I don't sugarcoat much. And so when I tell the truth, and I tell the truth to everybody, I think that they understand they can receive the message because it's not a personal message. And most of the time I end the message with how it will help them. I've told him he wasn't being the Bacho we know. But you're an unbelievable player when you do the things the right way, and you need to get back to that. And like I say, it's a luxury to have a guy like Bacho who internalized it. And then came out and played the way he played. And then we come in early this week and he's watching film of his mistakes so that he can grow as a player, and that's a luxury.
Seen the post-game videos, and so obviously Kate in here, he's got the championship belt, rebounding. I think Kane was saying, what's kind of the idea behind that?
So we haven't been a good rebounding team, so we're trying to give incentives and things to work. So we got the championship rebounding belt that we have, and the leading rebounder every game gets to keep that belt until the next game. And so it was a battle between Bacho and I challenged him because some guys get it and they're happy they get it, and I want other guys to be like, why didn't I get it? And hopefully we can make that an award that we'll give out at the end of our season to our top rebounder, and hopefully that means something. Hopefully they can take that with them, because ultimately I want to say that the number one stat on money made in the NBA comes to the best rebounders. It just does. And I don't know why that is. I think everybody averages 7 or more rebounds, make a ton of money in the NBA, and so it's a toughness stat. I think it's directly affected the toughness and willing to do hard things, and people pay for that. And it ends every defensive possession for the most part, or gives your offense another possession. Those things help.
I got one more. Jordan Crawford, obviously going back to Thursday night, had the big game off the bench with 11 points and 9 rebounds in 11 minutes. What does he add to your team on both ends of the floor when he's playing at a level like that?
It's just like a Swiss Army knife. He's able to transport the ball, move it side to side with us, give us another ball handler out there. And then if we did that, so the reason Jordan went in at that time is Caden and Devin were in foul trouble. And we didn't have a guy that, one, knew the plays at the other position, but 2, could rebound and do the things that we needed him to do. So we called on Jordan, and I asked him first, I said, to play at every position? He's unbelievably smart in that regard. He said, yeah, I think I know them all. And so we put him in there, and then he goes out and he rebounds like crazy. He allowed us to play pick and roll on both sides of the floor. At one time, I had him, AJ, and Sean out there. So it gave we were a little harder to guard. We don't have as many ball handlers out there. People kind of take Sean away and try to make other people make plays. But when you have Jordan, AJ, and Sean out there, it just made us more difficult to guard, and I think it helped us in the end.
You've only got the one game this week on Saturday, so Thursday you'll get to actually watch Conference USA basketball.
Hey, how about that?
You played everybody but Sam now, and a lot has been talked about how good this league is and how it's rated better than the American and Missouri Valley and some of these. Now that you've actually seen and played every team but one, what are your eyes telling you?
That is true. Like, it is a really tough league. I mean, the way I can quantify it in my head, it just reminded me of my first year here. When you could go to UAB one night, and then the next night you go to FAU, and then the next night you go to North Texas, and like you never had a night off, and you didn't know where you were going to get a break. And even the teams that struggled in that year, you go to UTSA and they can score 80 on you. Like, it's just you don't get to rest, and so you value moments like this where you maybe you play your travel partner and you get a break a little bit to rest your guys' bodies, because you know it's going to be a war. Sam is, I think they're 1-7 or something, but they're not a 1-7 team. They've lost some very, very close games. I think every game has been within 5 to 7 points that they've lost. And also, they've lost bodies. They've had guys in and out of the lineup. They lost, quote unquote, a starter at Christmas. So they've just been through it. And at some point, they'll figure it out and they're going to start winning a couple games. We just don't want it to be Saturday.
All right.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.